How's it, everyone? We are the Joystick Show. Your three favorite friends from Hawaii are back to talk story about the latest things we've read, watched, or played. We'll share our shtick with you, so thanks for sticking around. If you fancy what you hear, please like and subscribe on the platform you frequent. I'm your co-host, Drake. That's Thomas.
Me. What's up, everybody?
That's Scott.
How's it?
It's us.
Yeah.
The Joystick Show. Your three favorite friends. Okay, here we go. But, guys, we have a bunch of things to talk about today. I know we were on the Senate podcast, and first and foremost, we'd like to shout out the Senate podcast. Thomas, you were on there the other day. Let's talk about your experience in a moment. But before that, we're going to talk about, or we're going to have in line some reviews, some news. We'll have a quirky, fun hypothetical, and we'll get to our reviews like we usually do. But back to the main point of this entire podcast. Well, tell us about how your time was on the Senate.
I just want to say quickly, shout out to Caleb and Tony for having us on the Senate podcast. Really fun experience. Really cool guys. Definitely go check out the podcast. It is not political. It is about Star Wars stuff. And we kind of just talked about nostalgia. And, you know, they started off the conversation with a really fun question. Who would you pick, or whose adaptation do you like more, Sonic or Mario? And I thought that was a good question. And
nice.
It went from there, and it was really fun. So not sure when that episode's coming out. So shout out to them. And also to Cult Talk Net with Ty. We also we also did an episode with them as well. So shout out to those guys.
Yes.
Shout out.
Duel of the Fates. But speaking of Star Wars, Tom, you've been dominating Jedi Survivor. I haven't played, but for some reason I've been watching all the YouTube videos of like the clips, so I'm also about it. But tell us about your experience, and then we'll discuss.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Scott, I don't know if you got it yet or you've been playing it either, but
not yet.
Yeah,
Why?
but
go for it though.
Yeah, it's fun, man. I think that it's a good continuation of the first game. So if you liked the first game, I think you're gonna love the second one because they just do everything but like dialed up to 11. So
sweet.
Yeah. You start off with a majority of the powers that you get from the first game. You are able to use the Force in crazy ways. And, you know, back in the first game, you either had single blade or double-sided lightsabers. Now there's more. There's mas than that. So I just unlocked basically the dual wielding. So it's lightsaber and pistol. That was pretty fun.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's
okay.
That's pretty
pew,
cool.
pew, pew.
Exactly. Yeah, and you can like charge it up and shoot it like that. That's cool. It's not really that strong, but it's cool that you have that option.
You can charge the blaster?
Yeah.
Tom, talk about all of the cutting people in half and stuff now with disembodiment.
That's cool. Yeah, I was expecting a lot more than what I've done because I was like, oh man, now I can just slice through everybody. But I think I've only cut off a few arms.
They've got strong arms in the future, so
they do. Yeah, those Stormtrooper armor like make sure that your body stays together.
Yeah, it's that Moff Gideon armor.
That's right.
It's a good design.
I know we don't want to ruin the story of Jedi Survivor, but it's got a great story. The characters that they introduce, they really go deep into the Dark Jedi. I think Bode's character is amazing.
Yeah, Bode is cool.
Yeah. And how does it end?
Everybody dies, and then Darth Vader comes in and pegs everybody.
Wow.
It's about time, you know?
Yeah.
About time. Yeah. Dang. He needed some too, you know?
Yeah.
But right now, I mean, truthfully, like, I don't think there would be a lot of story for me to spoil. Like, you're away from the original crew, and then I've just gotten to a point where, like, I'm kind of back with most of the crew. Yeah. So it's like, it was, you know, this is what happened in 5 years. Not much, but everybody left. Okay, now I have to run back into everybody. So like, okay. So I don't know if the story is really that complex. It's not like crazy. It's just little moments of lore that kind of gets you to like the next action sequence. And yeah, it's just super fun. But if you're expecting a button masher, this is not the game. You know, this is not your game.
Okay.
This is the Dark Souls of Star Wars.
It is. Man, and the Ago Bago, do you guys know what that is?
Ago Bago?
Yeah.
Is that like a BOGO, like a buy one, get one?
No, it's not. And you wouldn't want a buy one get one on this because it's annoying as fuck. Basically, it's this frog monster that in the first Jedi Fallen Order, like if you fell in this hole, you had to fight Agobago, and it was super fucking annoying. It's like the hardest boss in the game, and it's just this little frog thing. Not little, but like this frog thing. And I've tried, so it's back in this game, and I swear to God, it's the hardest enemy I've had to fight yet. I've not been able to kill this bastard.
The timing is just weird on it.
Yeah, it's weird, and basically every little attack drains all of your block, and then it does all these unblockable attacks, and you can't even like dodge far enough to get out of the way. It's so stupid. So I hate this thing. I don't know why they added it in this game. And I was going to give this game a 10, but now after realizing this,
3.
Exactly.
It's like an Agobagos.
Fuck that future frog.
I don't, like ridiculous. I was like, they know how much people hated it in the first game. They're like, we're doubling down. People are going to hate it just as much in the second game.
You're going to make them harder.
Well, you gotta ask ChatGPT, how do you beat the future frog? But maybe it's wrong because maybe it's a future toad.
Exactly.
There is no beating future toad.
And knowing ChatGPT, it'll create its own story. Yeah. It'll just be like, and then you do this, and then you turn into Darth Vader, flip over and kill it. And it's like, I don't have that option in the game. Like ChatGPT's like, yes, you do. Whatever, man. Fine.
The story of Jedi Survivor, I can't wait to see it play out in hopefully the live action type situation. But I know there was a little bit of a thought experiment in terms of Boba Fett and the Mandalorian. Could you take us through that a little bit?
Yeah, that's a good segue there. So it's really interesting. Tamora Morrison was somewhere recently on stage, and people asked him, "Hey, we noticed you weren't in the Mandalorian season 3. Why were you not there?" And he was like, basically, I just did. What's that?
He was on holiday.
He's like, I was in Hawaii. But he basically told everybody, he's like, I just didn't get a call. He's like, no one just called me to show up. Which I don't know what your guys' thoughts are. I'll just kind of shoot out there. I think it's kind of weak because he's a Mandalorian. Why was he not in the rest of the Mandalorian thing helping retake Mandalore? Plus, Din helped him reclaim Tatooine. Why wouldn't he help Din reclaim Mandalore?
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, you think he needs his what's it called? Bacta tank. Bacta tank.
Yeah.
So, he doesn't have a mobile one just yet, so he can't really leave where he's at.
Fair.
That's probably what it was.
Yeah.
Fair. Yeah.
Health reasons.
He's controlling the underworld. So my speculation for the whole situation, because I believe I watched a similar YouTube video about it, is that because his sole focus is now trying to control the underworld, then through Andor, through this situation, through potentially Saw Gerrera early on. Well, he's dead now, but to see kind of the dealings of what's going on in the underground and how Boba's going to try to help turn. Because remember, the Hutts and the banking coalition kind of ruled the universe at points in time, and they were huge kind of mobsters. So hopefully they will go on this tangent and show us what Boba is doing behind the scenes, and hopefully it'll reconnect because it was noticeable that we missed him. So hopefully they're just leading us on to a better path. But that's my speculation of the night.
Right. Yeah.
Also, all the other Mandalorians were together. Yeah. Right. Mando was the only one traveling. So how far was Boba? He's like, I got one more guy that could come. They're probably just
because Django was a Mandalore.
Yeah, we don't need
was the Mandalore at one point in time. But I don't know how much Boba got Mandalorian other than Django, and then obviously Django got fucking murdered by Mace Windu.
Mace
it would
Windu
be tight if Mace Windu and Boba could meet again.
Ooh, that option I'm sure is down the line. If it hasn't been talked about, that's a significant miss.
Come on, Samuel L. Turn into Joey Bindo. Oh, he's from the past, actually. Never mind.
Turn into him.
Yeah, turn into him. Bindo it up. But so yeah, it's weird. I don't know. I feel like it was a miss. Like they could have easily had him in there, and it would have been like he helps the rest of the Mandalorians reclaim Mandalore. They then accept him as a Mandalorian as well, kind of like restoring some honor on Boba's name. I think would have been cool, but
they could have had some more, like way more money. Well, not money, but like. Help, mini monies.
They could have
finance help from all of the bounty hunters as well too, that he's in control of. So could have a Rancor battle. Maybe the Rancor and the Mythosaur can like mate to have like a Rancor Mythosaur type situation. I don't know.
Rancosaur.
Yeah.
Nice.
Perfect.
Nailed it.
Nice.
Perfect.
Yeah, I will. That'd be cool. Anyways, I don't know. Any other thoughts on that one?
No, I hope they mate.
Yeah.
We need that collab creature.
Well, isn't it funny how the Mythosaur was in a pool that everybody thought was dead, and Deadpool is bringing back Peter, Vanessa, and Colossus actors. Are you excited for that movie, Tom Bob?
Damn, that was good.
That's a good segue.
Yeah, I am excited, but I'm not like over the moon about it. I liked Deadpool 2 a lot. Like, I think it was a really, really good movie. And I think they really expanded the movie from 1 to 2. I thought it was just like a bigger, better movie, which was cool. Like, it's weird because all these casting announcements from Deadpool 2 are like, they're coming back. But in my head, I'm like, why wouldn't they be?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's, you know what I mean? A little bit like, I'm like, cool, but I'm also like, what, were they not going to come back? Why wouldn't they be in this new movie with them? Like some of them, except for Vanessa, who died, like the rest of them didn't die. So why would they not be back? But I guess Peter did. Ones. He did in the alternate timeline. Peter Griffin. He's great. He was one of the best parts of Deadpool 2 for me. Just the everyday guy who wants to be a part of X-Force. And he's like, well, I want to be a part of the team. They're like, do you have any special skills? He's like, I don't know. I got a minivan or whatever he says. You know, I don't know. But I think it's good that he's coming back. I like that actor. He's a funny comedian.
For sure. I feel like it's just sprinkles at this point, right? Like it's like sprinkles on the cake.
Yeah.
Because we already heard Hugh Jackman's in it. Right. And that's like the big one. Yeah. So everyone else is like, oh, that's cool too.
Yeah, that's true. Hugh Jackman's like frosting, like Ryan Reynolds is the cupcake or the cake. And then, everybody else is just little extra shit you put on to make it look nice and make it fun to eat.
I'll take it.
Did we talk about Brad Pitt was in the movie because the director of the movie was his stunt double?
Oh, is that why? I thought.
Oh, is that why?
I thought they. No, there was like some deal between him and Ryan Reynolds where he's like, we want to offer it, but he was like, I'll do it for some weird request, which was like a signed autograph of Ryan Reynolds or something like really obscure. But maybe the stunt double was in it too. I'm not saying it's not, but I thought I heard somewhere it was like a weird thing like that.
Yeah,
I want more of those little things.
Yeah, I want more of those little things. Put in some crazy. Put in Barack Obama in there real quick.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Because it was cool to see Ryan Reynolds in Bullet Train. It's like just a tiny bit of a thing, just like Brad Pitt was. And, you know, it felt like I owe you one.
What? I think I missed that. I don't remember him being in that.
Real quick. Brad Pitt was covering Ryan Reynolds' shift, basically.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So it should have been Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Like throughout the movie.
Did you know that Chris Pratt was in that movie with James McAvoy and Angelina Jolie? Was it Wanted? What was that movie called?
Wanted? Oh, yeah. He was the dick. Yeah, I rewatched it sometime. Like,
Chris Pratt's in that fucking movie.
Sometime last year.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, I forgot he's in this. You don't like him in it.
Yeah. That's great.
I mean, Chris Pratt is, you said he's not as funny. I kind of feel very similar about Vince Vaughn. Vince Vaughn has always kind of been funny, not funny to me. But I did hear that
I like him.
Dodgeball is coming back and Vince Vaughn is ready to go. Do we know if Ben Stiller is also backing the situation?
So I think that's where the final hangup is. Like they've been wanting to do Dodgeball 2 for the longest time. And Ben Stiller was saying like, no, I'm good. You know, like I don't want to come back for it. Because he had such a bad experience on Zoolander 2 that he's like, no, I don't want to do sequels anymore.
Oh.
He's like, I'm good. And so I think they were like, no, come on, we're going to do it like different people. And I'm not sure if it was the same director or something like that. There was like some connecting link between Zoolander 2, and Dodgeball.
Dodgeball 2.
And Dodgeball in general. So I think he was just like, I don't know, put a bad taste in his mouth. So I think Vince Vaughn and some of the other actors were like putting together a really compelling script and plan. And you're like, we just need you to say you're on board and we're back, you know.
Just do a quick cameo too. He doesn't have to reprise his role.
Yeah, but like
he kind of does.
But he's like such a main point. True. I think if they do it, it would be do it. I think that he would probably be on Vince Vaughn's team. Like I could see them doing that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like
there needs to be a new bigger bad, and then he's like common enemy.
Whoa, right. Who could be the bad guy? Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah, she's already doing hers. I'm going Pedro Pascal.
Oh, Pedro Pascal.
I think Pedro Pascal as the bad guy on the other side of the team just getting to be ridiculous would be so entertaining.
Yeah. Okay, so speaking about sequels, Tropic Thunder, right? I have the perfect sequel name for a Tropic Thunder.
Okay.
Yeah,
Arctic Lightning.
That'd be good. I'll watch it.
Why?
Just because you don't want it to be a Tropic Thunder 2, so
it's not tropical.
Yeah, you're opposite. You're taking you're taking things in a different direction. It's Arctic Lightning.
Okay.
And then Thunder and Lightning.
Thunder.
It'll probably end up being like those what is that, like those Death of the Nile movies or whatever. It's the same detective, but the names are totally different. And then you're like, because there's a new one coming out, and I didn't even know it was within the same.
Yeah, Knives Out, Glass Onion.
No, that's not that one.
Brown Scarf.
It's the different.
Oh,
it's the other one.
Oh,
the Death of the Nile is same kind of detective aspect.
Right.
It's like same type of storyline, but man, someone needs to look this up. But there's a new movie coming out, and then the try to look like Death of the Nile sequel. The sequel, or like the third one in the franchise. I think Death of the Nile was like the second one. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't know it's a part of it until you see the trailer and you see the cast. Or if you just, maybe it's based on books.
Haunting in Venice.
Haunting in Venice, yeah. But just by the title, you're like, you think it's a standalone movie. Then you see the cast, you're like, and you see the detective, and you're like, oh.
It's based off Agatha Christie movies. Or books, I should say. Sorry, she never made movies.
Okay.
What was the first one before Death of the Nile?
I'm going to go prequel.
Yeah, Haunting.
But it's Gal Gadot was in Death of the Nile.
Crying on the beach.
Gal Gadot.
Yeah, something like that. Just name like an action, like give me a verb and then a place, and then you have a title.
There you go.
Running.
Okay, running. Give me a place, Scott.
Alaska.
Running in Alaska. Man, that's got such a good book. You ever read that?
Dude, I want to read
so
that.
Good.
For sure.
Yeah. It follows Haunting in Venice, so you should. Just kidding.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to watch that first, though.
All right. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. And I do like that, where it's like kind of different cast, but there's a connecting link in the universe. And you have to like pay attention. I think, again, my brain kind of goes to the Glass Onion of it all and the Knives Out, because I feel like they're going to keep doing that. And it's working super, super well. Let's see what else we got here. We talked about Twisted Metal. We got a teaser for that.
Interesting.
I like question mark.
I like the game. I love the game. As a kid, man, I always played Thumper. Do you guys know who you played?
Spectre. I played Spectre.
No, I don't. My friend had it, and I think I just picked the clown guy all the time because.
Oh, okay. You had the ice cream truck, dude, which they show in the teaser.
Right. But I think I don't know if there's even a story to it. We just played like versus mode all the time.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Exactly. I didn't know there was a story either. I was just like, okay, it's like a post-apocalyptic world, and everybody fights in their car. I was like, all right, cool. That was all the story I needed for that game, just to play it, because you wanted to have like badass powers and like fight in the car. And I had Thumper, and I think he had a flamethrower at the bottom, and it was like a lowrider. And that was my favorite character.
For sure, the creators played Mario Kart and was like, dude, we could make this verse battle system like way crazier.
Right.
And just make an adult version of it. Yeah. And that's what it felt like.
Totally.
Adult Mario.
And it worked. It was such a... What was Spectre? What kind of car?
Spectre was a Roadrunner, which is I think it's a Chevy situation. Okay. But I'm looking at the Wikipedia, but
they had a lot of games too.
Yeah, they had a lot of games.
Yeah.
So just come out with new vehicles and stuff. Interesting though. I wonder how they're gonna do this.
Surprised they haven't remade
as a movie.
Is it a movie or is it a series?
So that's a good question. I don't know if it's a series or not. I'm guessing it's a movie, but Anthony Mackie, interesting choice. You know, I'm sure they got to have some type of stakes, like I'm only doing this so I can save my daughter or something. You know what I mean? But right, like
winning someone's freedom or some kind of thing like that.
Yeah, like I'm gonna watch it because I am curious to see how they do. I'm sure the car action is gonna be awesome, and it's like cars with guns on them. That's tight. But it's like, dude, I don't know. I'm not like over the moon. Like this is gonna be the dopest show. You know,
Didn't
it's just
they
like
do that with
cool.
Gerard Butler though? It wasn't Twisted Metal themed, but they did a similar.
It was
right.
yeah. Well, I was thinking that I couldn't think of the name, but it was like other people playing them, or betting on them, and then Gerard Butler was like just really good at like surviving this game. It was interesting though, but it seems like it's almost like when they did like Battleship, or like they just took a
with Rihanna
game and then they can just like make their own story because there's like so little to it really.
That's true.
So they're just taking like the known name.
The next new movie is Shoots and Ladders. It's just fucking
Definitely.
guns and ladders.
Candyland for adults. This is nice.
So like porn or
Yeah. As soon as I said it, I was like, yeah, this kind of sounds like porn, doesn't it?
Connect 4.
The porn movie. Yeah, I don't know, but it just is. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know who's asking for it. I love Anthony Mackie. I'll watch it. I have Paramount Plus, so like, yeah, I guess I'm in already. But I'm not like looking forward to it. It's not like I'm gonna stay up at midnight to watch a new episode.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be as good
so
as
it's
Halo.
dropping on Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
What is it?
That was awesome.
What was it?
I said because it's on Paramount Plus, it's probably gonna be as good as Halo.
Oh, dang. Low blow. I'm sure the pilot episode's gonna be great, and then nothing else.
Yeah.
What did you say, Scott? No.
No, it's gonna be on Paramount Plus, so that kind of. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's going to be like a massive release, like movie release, you know?
Yeah.
So
It must be a series then.
it must be a series then.
That's interesting.
Paramount Plus is like, you know what our audience loves? The original Twisted Metal game from PS2 or what? PlayStation 1. They love that.
Right.
We should make a series.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
and then,
maybe
like,
Paramount Plus is going to be the video game miniseries situation.
Yeah, this is gonna hurt Frank's feelings, but like, and then like 20 different Star Treks. You're like, okay, yeah, like, I don't know what all these Star Treks are for, but
Well, to be fair, I think that's where they're probably getting a lot of their money.
that's true.
The Star Trek is like the good stuff.
That is true.
Yeah.
Like if you're a Trek fan, that's where you want to be.
That's
Yeah, it's
true.
McDonald's for you. You're loving it.
Yeah.
Loving it.
So interesting stuff. Last thing, I don't know. This actually blew me away. I thought this was really, really cool. I'm like, okay, I've seen enough at this point. I'm on board. It looks awesome, fantastic. Everybody's raving about it. There's been a
Jury
few.
duty?
No.
Oh, no, not that one. Yeah,
sorry. I was talking about the Flash trailer.
Oh.
We got a second Flash trailer.
Oh, dude.
We got, Scott.
Scott, can
lay
you
it
put
on.
your
Dude.
boner down? I can see it through the mic.
Yeah, like, it's like bumping my mic here. You see moving?
Oh my god.
Inappropriate stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Somebody just leans over you and whispers, "The Flash." Ding.
Yeah.
it's just like bing. Sorry, sound.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tom.
Yeah.
Got excited there.
It's all good.
Grab the mic. This trailer. Oh my god. At first I was like, I don't want to watch it because like I don't want to. Like I'm already sold. Like I don't want anything to be ruined or. And then one of our other friends was like, I watched it. It's not that too revealing or whatever. Like just go ahead and watch it. And I watched it. I'm like, oh my fucking goodness. This trailer looks so good. It's like it just showed us a lot more of what we wanted to see. Keaton looks so fucking cool in this.
He does.
I know we don't like Ezra Miller, but
Who's that?
I'm seeing him as the Flash in this trailer, and I'm really liking it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Supergirl stuff looks awesome. You can see all the things that they're taking from Flashpoint. This movie looks so good. And hearing all the good things, there's some people that got to see it right at CinemaCon,
Yeah.
and they're like raving about it.
Yeah.
So-
a lot of the reviews
man.
were like, that is one of the best superhero movies ever made. Sorry. My water.
Okay, get some water, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. You're in, Drake.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, one of the best movies in terms of the critics raving about it in that early release situation. So I know some of us have talked about DC having a better year than Marvel this year so far, potentially, which could be the case. I mean, that's kind of the battle we want to see as fans is like DC, Marvel, DC, Marvel, DC, Marvel.
I wonder
Spawn.
if Guardians of the Galaxy is going to change that. And also, like, we can't throw... Like, the best I think DC can do, and I don't know if this is true, but I think it's going to be even with Marvel this year for the sole fact that Shazam 2 bombed so hard.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean...
And we're hoping Blue Beetle's good.
And we're hoping Blue Beetle's good. I mean, we can't bake it all in one movie.
But it might bomb.
But wait till you guys see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I'm very, very curious
You
to
confident?
see... Man,
No spoilers.
yeah,
Don't
no
spoil it.
spoilers. We posted a bunch of stuff on social media about it, and I was just like floored. I really was. I mean, I've never been like a massive Guardians fan. I love the movie. I loved the movie, but I wasn't like Guardians is my number one Marvel movie. It's like in my top 5. Like this movie has made a case for being in my top 5 favorite MCU.
That's good
movies.
because Guardians is in my top 5.
Yeah.
So
Oh, really?
I'm super stoked. Yeah, I love the Guardians movie.
First
I'd
time.
like and yeah,
Yeah.
go for it.
What
No,
else
it's-
would be in your guys' like top 5 list? Just curious,
Oh.
real quick.
Fucking, I mean, you can't beat like the end game
Yeah.
and that whole setup.
Yeah,
So
Infinity
if we
War
got to pick
Endgame.
those 2 movies,
Okay.
real quick, I'm trying to think of movies I've seen a bunch. I've watched Iron Man 1 a lot. That's one that kicked off the whole thing. That was
right,
great.
Good, yeah.
Let me get back to you on that 5th one.
Okay. Well, yeah, Dre, you can just throw out.
No, I
3.
obviously Infinity Endgame. For me, I really like the Florence Pugh Black Widow situation. I don't know, I just
Nice.
enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm.
I would
Like you
I
enjoyed it
would-
enough to be like, this was one of the best movies that the MCU's made.
It was one of the movies I enjoyed the most, but I don't think it's one of the best movies they've ever made. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think I enjoyed Guardians of the Galaxy just because I wasn't familiar and I was immersed. I cared about those characters, so I would agree with that. I would agree with that. For
Yeah,
sure.
Nice.
yeah. I think my other one may be Captain America 2.
Captain America
Yeah.
always good. Yeah.
Yeah. Winter
That was really,
Soldier
that's when I'll
was-
forget how good it is until I start watching it. I'm like, fuck, this movie's good.
Original
even
Ant-Man
Civil
was
War
good
was
for
great.
funniness. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ant-Man
Civil
1
War's
was
good.
fantastic too. I mean, that was seriously good. I mean, there's Thor Ragnarok.
Oh yeah, obviously.
I feel like this movie just does it all. Like it really does. It has so much like heart and just these like obviously there's the emotional side of it, and it's just like it's kind of dark. There's some moments where like this is like pretty fucked up.
Lots of cameos from other heroes or
not
other people
really.
we know. Oh,
Other people you know, like if you remember Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2,
Yeah.
you'll be fine. And a little bit of Infinity War Endgame, you'll
Okay.
be all good. And the Christmas special is kind of important in the beginning too.
Oops.
But man, so that's all crazy. Then the humor's there. It's funny. It's like
Nice.
really funny in some moments. And then it has some of the best action sequences I've seen in the MCU.
Really?
There's like a 4-minute breakdown, like probably more. It's probably like a 6-minute hallway fight scene where all the Guardians are in the hallway and they're just kicking ass. Like everybody's doing it. And it's just like super tag team. Like one person throws one person up, another person comes in and hits it. It's just like super dope.
That's fucking
And-
cool.
and you're-
Something about a hallway scene, man.
I know.
It's like Daredevil.
Yep.
Nailed that hallway
'Cause-
scene. Punisher, that hallways walking down in the cells,
Yeah.
whatever, when he's beating the shit out of people. Like, it's just something about a long shot. It's just great.
And then just the way it flows together and you get to see
Yeah. Oh, man.
what each person's like specialty is really cool. So the action is just on point in this movie. The villain feels like scary. And he does like some things that you're like, holy shit, that's messed up. That's super messed up. So all of these parts mixed together, and then there's just a really great ending. And I was like, holy crap, like not only did they do it, but I feel like they just stuck the landing super hard. And I'm going to see it again this coming Thursday. But I'm like, as soon as I left, I was like, man, I can't wait to watch that again. Like I was like, if I had the option to watch again, I think I would have.
Yeah.
I would have went. Oh, I'm good. I'll go back and
to
watch
back.
that.
Yeah, I'm going this Friday with our buddies.
Yeah.
Like in the evening, but I'm off that Friday, and I was like debating to like catch an earlier show and then watch it again with them.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm debating that, but also there's something about watching it for the first time with your friends,
Right?
You know, so
yeah,
I know this is going to be one I'm going to watch again.
Yeah,
definitely. Go with some people. Go with friends. Go with whoever, and like go to the movies for this one. Like I don't. We review a lot of movies, but I think this one is like definitely worth going to the theaters.
So you would say then the jury's out.
The jury is out for.
Jury duty.
Hey-o.
We're jumping to topics real quick.
Got it.
Is there anything
Jury
else
duty.
we want to say about Guardians where we jumped that? That's
No, that was perfect.
Like,
Sorry, I was writing my segue.
I think it's super hype. No worries.
I was like, what?
I'm super hyped for that movie. I think that's a great non-spoiler because I know it's probably so easy to like want to include certain things that'll maybe just be right over the line.
Mm-hmm.
But cool. We're gonna jump away from that.
You guys didn't ask good questions, so it was pretty easy.
Well, we've been doing this for a long time, so Drake and I are pretty good at not asking good questions.
Yeah. We're the best actually at asking.
You can tell, you can
questions.
see the experience in our question asking.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I was just gonna ask if there was boobs, and
no.
yeah. So
Yeah.
well, that's the only good
There's
question we had,
butt,
Tom.
yeah.
So,
ooh,
one singular butt.
full rear nudity.
Yep. Jury duty. What did you
There
think
better
of
not
it?
be any animal butts. Okay,
Oh,
Jury Duty is the show.
Gross.
Jury Duty is a show you can watch for free. I think it's from the network Freevee or something, but it's also on Amazon. You can watch it for free with
You watch it for freezies?
ads. Yeah,
Nice.
you can watch it Freevee, I believe. Freevee.
Yeah.
Not a sponsor.
Damn.
Are you a cheerleader? You're spelling shit out.
Yeah.
Yeah, be aggressive. Be aggressive. So this show is basically it's shot like Parks and Recs, okay, and it surrounds this one dude who thinks he's going in for jury duty. So it's kind of like a reality-ish show, but everyone involved in this show is an actor. Like everyone in the court, the judge, the fellow jury people. Like everyone, and like I guess they did auditions to find the one dude that like maybe doesn't watch movies and shows, and is just super sociable and like likable. Because he has this like when you watch it, he has this like Andrew Garfield likability about him. Like even the way he phrases his sentences and stuff, like you just kind of see it. And
I mean, you didn't know who James Marsden is, right?
No, so the thing is, he comes in and like that's what's part of the funny like bit about it in the first episode, especially.
Yeah.
He comes in and he's like, someone comes up to him and he's like, "Hey, can I get a picture with you?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, of course, you know." Right. And then she asks like him, the guy that the show's about, like, "Can you take the picture?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, sure." He takes the picture, and then he's like, "Oh, sorry about that," you know. And he's like, "Oh man," he's like, "I thought you looked familiar."
Yeah.
Like I seen you, and he's like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "Dude, you're Cyclops.
Oh, nice.
You play Cyclops." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm in other stuff too, you know." I'm in like, like the way he plays his character of James Marsden is like this kind of like douchey Hollywood guy, like, "Hey, I mean, you know," and then like jump to like the next day where he's like, "Dude, I watched you in this one movie. You were great." And he's like, "Oh, Sonic." He brought up Sonic. He's like, "You're in Sonic?" And then he's like, "Yeah, I'm in Sonic." He's like, "Oh, are you like a big part of it?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm like the dude with Sonic, you know, we're like it's like a buddy movie and stuff." He's like, "Oh man, yeah, I heard it didn't do good, huh?" And he's like, "I mean, like, it's just so funny." And then he goes up and watches it, and next thing he's like, "Dude, I saw you in Sonic. You crushed it, dude." Yeah. And he's like, "And you didn't tell me Ben Schwartz was Sonic?" Yeah. And then he sees his face like he's hyping up Ben Schwartz. Yeah. And then he's like, "Oh, did you buy it or rent it?" He's like, "Oh, it was on Hulu." And he's like, "Oh man," he's like, "If you bought it, I would have got $1." Yeah. Like it's just like, but it's so funny, like all the dialogue and all the people interacting, and like each person's like a weird character. One of the other jury people has like a camel pack, and he talks about how it's great to have water with him all the time. And then he has one for solids. He's like, "It works good as long as I emulsify all my food." And he starts drinking stuff out of it. And like this one lady that's like hitting on like this other dude, and like it's just like such random characters. Mm-hmm. And
what about Kirk Fox? Who does he play?
Dude, Kirk Fox just plays like another jury guy, but like he's just very Kirk Fox. If you've seen him in like Parks and Recs, like he's just kind of has a funny way about him. Just the way he talks and like moves his head and everything, and like he doesn't recognize it's Kirk Fox, so it's like it's just freaking hilarious. Oh wait, is it Kirk Fox? Is that?
It's Kirk
I just
Fox.
want to make sure I get the right.
Yeah,
That's
I'm trying
his
to
name?
think of who Kirk Fox is.
Kirk Fox is he does stand up as well.
Wait, no, I want to make sure.
Yeah. He's been in all
played
kinds of
Sewage
stuff.
Joe on Parks and Rec.
That's right. He's been in all kinds of stuff. Yeah,
That is him. Okay. I just want to make sure. But yeah, that guy's hilarious. And then one of the other another funny moment is like one of the other jury people was like, they're talking like, oh man, how do people get out of this? And then the main guy was like, oh, I watched on Family Guy. Like the only thing you think of is like Peter says he's racist, and like and then he's like, I don't think that's a good idea though. And then the guy like later he's like, oh, I can't. I have this vacation, and the judge is like, no, it's not good enough. And he's like, I'm racist. And he's like, what? And he's like, no, I'm not. I'm sorry. He's like, who told you to say that? And he's like, no, the other dude. But then they cut to the real guy, and he's like, oh fuck, like, he said it. And then the judge is like, did someone tell you to say that? And then he like keeps looking at the guy, and the guy's like making his eyes like, oh fuck,
just looking
like,
off
no.
in the distance, like don't make eye contact with me.
Yeah, it's just like it's full of like that awkwardness, but then it's also shot like Parks and Rec where they'll get people in, they'll do the one shots, like they're like talking like, yeah, I know, like this, this happened, blah blah. We're gonna. And so in the second episode, they end up having to stay together in like these hotel areas, so they can't go home. So like, I think that's where case. I got to watch the first 2 episodes, but it's just hilarious. I recommend watching it. It's free, and
it's freebie.
Yeah, if you like Parks and Recs and if you like comedy, check it out. It's fucking hilarious.
Nice. That sounds hilarious already. And I mean, I just want to get to the point where they revealed to him like this whole time, because how long did they do it for? Like a couple weeks?
Yeah, I'm not sure. There's 8 episodes, and they're each like 23 minutes.
Oh, okay, it's fast.
But within by the second episode, it was like maybe a day or 2 went by. So, you know what I think it is? Now I'm trying to remember. I think they said the trial's probably going to last about a week.
Oh, okay.
So I think it is going to be a week. But they show you like upcoming things, and it's kind of like crazy things to come. And it does kind of have that what's that other show we like watching with the 4 friends that prank people?
Impractical Jokers.
Impractical Jokers. So there is that kind of feel too, because everyone else is in on the joke, and
right.
the fact that they can keep a straight face is like amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so funny.
Nice. That's good. All right. So that is definitely on the list. Got to check that out. It's called Jury Duty.
Jury Duty.
Yeah. All right. I will check that out. It sounds pretty funny already. All right. So before we move on any further, we have a hypothetical, right?
Oh yeah, totally Mogotally.
Let's hypothetical this up, because this was a good one.
So the hypothetical, think about yourself. You've been tasked.
That's all I do.
By finding these, by searching these areas throughout the world, right?
Okay.
And you've been given unlimited money, and your job is just to excavate and find out what you can find. Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
So in the 3 separate places that you went to, the first place, beneath the Sahara Desert, you find a scroll of the history of man, and it changes everything that we know about everything, right?
Ooh.
Second place you go to, in the depths of the Marianas Trench, you discover a link to infinite renewable energy.
Ah.
And thirdly, within the thick of untouched Amazon rainforest, you come upon an amulet that allows you to change into a jaguar.
Wow.
And change back, not just change to a jaguar one time.
Okay, good.
Okay?
It's a deal breaker.
These 3 separate things, obviously, they have their own merit. They have their own, possibility. They have their own detriment. You can only keep one, destroy one, sell one.
Mm-hmm.
What would you do?
Keep one. So, like, if we keep it, though, we can use it however we want, right?
So you can keep it, but only you have the availability to it.
Wow. Only I have the availability. Interesting. Okay. I'm trying to think about how each one would be useful in my life. And I'm trying to think of, at any point, would it be like important to be a jaguar?
A jaguar.
I mean,
nice jaguar.
maybe you just like being a big cat. I don't know.
I think that was for you. Like, no. I mean, it'd be kind of cool. Like, it'd be cool to just be strong and black and big. That sounded like I meant like.
Sounds like a meme.
Yeah, I know. It sounded like I was talking about a person, but no, I was just describing the cat. I don't know, man. Yeah, the renewable energy one, I think for me is the one I would probably want to keep. But it's like, can I use it? Can I like set like if I can bottle this energy up, can I sell it? But then I have a limited money to do this. So what's the?
Can you build an Iron Man suit out of it?
Potentially.
Just have unlimited energy.
Yeah, I mean, can I use that information in some way that could like? I'm like, cool, now I have this unlimited energy. Like, I know nobody else has access to it, but can I build something and then like sell that to the world?
So anything connected to it. So the idea of like keeping it is like pretty much if you keep the thing, it is almost invisible to everybody else, if that makes sense.
Oh,
Yeah.
how does that?
Well,
how does that help?
I think I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
go for
what
it.
I'm doing, is I'm gonna hit up Elon Musk and be like, "Yo, I got renewable energy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sell it to you to set me up for the rest of my life."
Yeah. Yeah.
And I let his smart mind to deal with how to apply that. Because me personally, I wouldn't know how to. I'd just be sitting on this and I'd die with it and no one get it. The history, same thing. I don't know how I'm gonna apply that. So I'm selling the energy. I'm destroying history. And I'm going to keep that Jaguar, baby. I'm going to use that power, travel the world, and just turn to Jaguar whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. I'm going to... Nope, go for it, Drake. I got to think about this.
So I would keep the history so that I would know, because knowledge is power.
But what if nobody believes you, though? Like, what if you have this insane knowledge and, like, you're like, that's not how it happened. Everyone's like, yeah, whatever, dude.
I would just be smug knowing that I know.
The only thing I'd want to know, can I read it before I, there's like one part, I was like, I just want to know if there's aliens, and then I'll burn it.
No.
Like, there's just one thing I want to.
It's probably just destroy, right? Without using
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's probably not going to make me as much money as renewable energy, so.
Yeah.
Destroy.
Yeah. So I would keep the knowledge. I'd probably end up destroying the amulet because as much as I would love to turn into a Jaguar, and then I would sell the renewable energy.
Also, real quick, so you have the knowledge, right? Do you have it up here, or is it just you have access to it? Is it just saying like you have access to Google?
The former,
like, because then.
So it's all in your head.
It's all in your head. That's man.
You could actually use that to. Man, if you can hold all that in your head, then that means you're a pretty smart dude at this point. So
yeah. Also, Drake started off by saying you have all the money in the world to find this stuff.
Yeah.
So you kind of don't. It doesn't matter if you sell this stuff.
Money.
Yeah, I mean the money's kind of.
I had Jaguar on the brain, dude.
Yeah. I know. I was trying to like think of a reason of just selling the Jaguar amulet, but I'm like, would a bunch of people just be going around as Jaguars now if I sold it? And would that be cool?
So the big thing too is like you have to be careful about which one you sell it to, because then the applied mechanics of selling it to
North
the wrong
Korea
individual.
will get their hands on it.
Yeah, right.
With Jaguar technology.
Yeah, dude, just turning everybody into Korean Jaguars.
Can they replicate this? Is there science behind it? Or is it like I'm picturing it being magic.
Yeah,
it's like a.
They open it up. It's like it was right there the whole time. We could all be Jaguars.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of, okay, you know what? I'm going to sell the human history.
Okay.
And destroy the amulet.
Who's buying that?
Okay. And keep the renewable energy.
Sick.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know why I'm going to sell the human history? Because I don't think I have the big enough platform to like share this, but imagine this piece of information, right? Ancient civilization, whatever. Let's just say ancient civilization created humans. We didn't like evolve out of monkeys or whatever. There was an ancient, that would change everything. It would change how everybody looked at everything, right? Like the whole reason, like what are we doing here? And how did we come to consciousness and all of that.
There were Jaguar people before us.
I mean, yeah, they probably made it too. But all that stuff, like I want to sell that. That seems crazy because I want to see a world where people understand exactly where we came from. And I want to see what happens to that world. That'd be interesting.
Interesting.
It could be dangerous too. I mean, I don't know if it's as dangerous as Jaguar World, but it could be dangerous.
Yeah, Jaguar World would be. I mean, human jaguars riding in jaguars.
Pretty lit.
Jaguar World sounds cool as hell, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Jaguar World.
It was just round.
It's like a Toys R Us, but jaguars.
Yeah. That'd be pretty wild. It'd be the island of Dr. Moreau.
There you go.
Yeah. So that's my answer. I think that'd be interesting.
Okay.
And I would like to see how humanity changes at that point. Although, if you sold the renewable energy and we literally didn't have to think about energy anymore, you could create whatever you want.
Yeah.
Like, how crazy would that be?
That's what I'm saying. If you sell it to someone that knows how to apply it, then you get it.
That's true. Damn it. That's a good
They could also monopolize it.
They could also monopolize it, and then nobody else gets it.
Yeah.
And then you don't get it anymore.
Yeah, or you got to pay up the butthole.
That's where the Jaguar power comes in.
Here we go.
Bite him in the throat and take it back.
Yeah, you're like, okay, I'm gonna kill that guy, and you break into you try to get into the facility, and before you can transform and bite the guy, like 6-armed gunmen gun you down in Jaguar form, and then that's it.
We'll see about that. I've been training,
so
at this
Jaguar
point,
training.
Yeah.
So it sounds like we're all about the
fast
Jaguars. Transformations. Yeah. How, do you? It looks like you're coughing up a hairball.
And like that's how you transform. You're like, what's he doing?
While he's holding up a finger,
and then you turn inside out into a jaguar. You're like, what the? Fuck? That was the grossest thing I've ever seen in my life.
No, thank you.
And I'm like,
it's like a birth.
Yeah. No, thank you.
You turn inside out every time. Yeah, let's not make it that.
Okay.
Now it is that. Right on. Okay, that was interesting. I love it. That was an interesting thought experiment. I don't know anything else because I think we're on a pretty good segue to a next topic, which is Sweet Tooth Season 2.
Ooh.
Did you guys watch Season 1?
Yes.
I did. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I did too. Season 2 is here. It's on Netflix. And we're back with Gus. Kid's adorable. It's kind of sad because Will Forte is only back in flashbacks, but I was like really hoping they could find a way to bring Will Forte back. As far as I'm like halfway through the season. I think I finished episode 4. I don't know if you guys finished the whole season yet.
I just got the finale to watch now.
Oh, you did? Oh, you got far.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I watched 7.
Okay,
wow.
How are you liking it? Because I love Gus. I think this kid is such a good actor. He was even awesome in Cocaine Bear. But
yeah,
I'm like, I don't know if I like this season as much as I did the first season.
I think I have to agree with you on that. Like, especially the first couple episodes are kind of slower. I feel it starts picking up once they introduce.
And we're going to be talking spoilers.
The dude,
by the way, everybody.
Yeah, sorry, spoilers.
Yeah.
But the dude with the beard, and the glasses, the colorful glasses.
Yeah. I
really like that actor,
Dr. Egg, or like Mr. Egg from Sonic.
Yeah. And I keep thinking of him as what's his name, John McAvoy.
Oh, that's great. Yeah,
he reminds me of like that because he's a really good actor. I feel like all his little subtle things he does. There's a part where he like is talking to Gus one-on-one, and it's creepy. I'm not sure. I think it's a little later after you do it, but like he's doing a really good job of being. I remember thinking like, wow, I believe this guy's a villain.
Yeah,
like there's some people you can't, but so I really like him. And then when they start diving into Big Man and all that stuff, there's a little like it starts getting better for me at least. But the first couple were kind of not as strong because it was a lot to do with just the kids, and although they're adorable, after a while you're like.
It's just weird.
It's hard to think like,
kids.
just like they're not the greatest actors. What's the drive here?
And they just do. They trying to get out and kid stuff. Like, does that mean they're not coming back? Why did they do that? Like, oh my gosh, have an imagination, Jesus Christ.
Well, yeah, and I understand. Like, they are like imprisoned, and they're getting fed kibble. Like, all that stuff is miserable. But it was weird to me that it was like, we're really gonna do this for 4 episodes. Like
that's what it was.
It was like, wow, why are we staying in this prison for them? Like, we got the characters, we understand, where they came from, what they've kind of had to deal with, and but like in the prison, they're kind of limited on what they can do, and it just kind of felt really repetitive,
and not even all of them can talk. So like after you get like oh, they sign. You're like, oh, that's cool. And then you're like, well, there's like 2 or 3 people who can talk. So like where can we go with the dialogue?
Adolescent mutant ninja turtle.
Yeah. And that was interesting. I mean, it is kind of interesting, the hybrids of it all. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm as interested in the world building as much as I was interested in Gus figuring out who he was and the relationship with Big Man. In this season, they've taken away Big Man. And it's probably something we would have also complained about with Mando and Grogu and the Mandalorian. Like, we need to see them back together. And that's kind of how I feel. But it's also like, the reason why it was so endearing the last season was Big Man didn't want anything to do with him, and Gus just had this lovable personality that kept getting, just that Big Man couldn't deny. He had to stick with him, and then his wall slowly came down, and now they're just apart, and it doesn't feel like you're getting as much endearing moments. It just feels so sad all around.
It kind of even a little later. It's like they go more into Big Man's story and all that, and it is just kind of like you're saying, like, it is just kind of sad, like all that, and then it gives reason to why they are there, and I still do like it, and it could be because I was just kind of watching one after another, so like you kind of get used to like the flow of the show and whatnot, and then I guess maybe certain things that were bothering me in the beginning are not bothering me as much, but I do have to say it does like get better,
nice,
as it goes on, like, and it gets exciting around like. I want to say 6, 7, and then into 8 is like things are happening. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're like, okay, like there's it's just the exciting moments of the show now. It's all the apex of it. So
yeah, they really make you earn it this season though. Because I agree. Like I said, I'm on board. I really like that kid as an actor. He's so damn good. I'm like just blown away by this kid as an actor. He like crushed it. And then Big Man as well. I think his name is like Anza Anoye, I think is his name. And he had a big week. He was on this show came out, and he was on Ted Lasso. As Sam Abisanya's dad. I was like, damn, this guy's popping up everywhere. Good for him. He's a great actor too. But I want to see them together, and I want to see them go on these adventures, I think. And it's so funny because it feels played out, right? Like, what do they call it? Like the Lone Cub and something adventures, basically like the father-son adventure. But it's like, that's kind of what you sold us last season. And they finally were good by the end, and then they got separated. It's like, I want to see them back together, and I'm sure they do, but it's a little bit, you have to slug through to get to what sounds like a good, like 6, 7, and 8.
For sure.
Yeah. What did you do? Have you watched it, Drake?
Yeah, I watched the first couple of episodes, and nice. I do mimic the same thought process and feeling. Like the first season was so much more adventurous and so much more building of like the environment, the character base, and it was so strong. And this kind of tails off, and again, me and like having to deal with like the teen stuff and like the little kid stuff, and like that took me away from the situation, because what the mom was doing and what Big Man was doing in the first couple of episodes, just kind of trying to get to know each other, and then seeing a little bit more of the backstory, that was kind of cool. Learning about how the first season came about to where they are now was more interesting than what they were currently doing.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree. And I wonder, like, we've seen so many post-apocalyptic shows where I'm like, what can they possibly show us different in this world? You know what I mean? Like, especially when I don't know, maybe I'm unfairly comparing it to The Last of Us, where we've seen the end of days there and it was done so freaking well. You're like, okay. And then you see this one, you're kind of like, yeah, I mean, I get it. It's just not as like thrilling, at least for me, for the first 4 episodes as The Last of Us, where you're like, damn, like, look how society broke down and look how they're living now. It's kind of like, I don't know. Does the world kind of excite you guys, or Scott? Like, now that you've seen what you've seen, is you're like, whoa, is it cool?
It, because now that you're comparing it to The Last of Us, like, they introduce these characters that are like kind of the characters that are running the world now. Oh, okay. At least their immediate world, like maybe the immediate states around them or something. There's like
the dude with the beard or whatever, he's trying to get in with them. There's like they're the big three.
He like brings them like some type of thing, and he's like, I want to be in with your guys' group, and they're like, not today. He's like, I drove all the way out there. They're like, not today. They'll let you know when you're ready. And he was like,
yeah,
what?
exactly.
Yeah.
And then like you kind of see more of them, and then something happens where you find like maybe just one of them was the strongest of the, and then like of the three, and you're like, should he even, like, how did these other two even hold down their area? Because it didn't seem like they were even as like strong minded as like the dude with the beard,
right?
Or the person that you see out of the three that is like willing to get their hands dirty. You know, like you'd expect that out of someone that's like holding a society together and maybe like brainwashing them, like, we're doing this for the good, and it's really like driving their own goal.
Yeah.
These other two areas, you're like, they introduce them, and then they're kind of like pushed aside, it seemed like really quickly. And you're like, okay. It is interesting though to see like a bigger picture and what they're gonna do, but in comparison to like The Last of Us and stuff, I feel like every episode of The Last of Us, we were like fully engaged with every character. Even if it was like episodic, or like it was just had to deal with them getting through this one thing in this one episode. It just held you there like more than this show. There's instances in this show where it feels like, oh, it's for kids. And then they tap into stuff where like they show one of the hybrid kids like brains open because they're like dissecting them, and you're like, well, I don't know if that's for kids. Like, you know, it's you're kind of like, what is this for? Like,
that's so funny that you said that. I was thinking that watching the first 4 episodes, I'm like, who is this show for? Is it for kids or is it for adults? Because it's kind of dark. All, you know, the people that are dying from the disease, and then they take the lizard kids, like, what happened to Roy? Is Roy coming back? And then you find out like Dr. Singh like fully, I don't know, like cut his head open or pulled out some brain juice. I don't know what he was doing, but and you're like, wait, what? And then you go to the kid part, and it's so kiddish.
The dialogue, that's like definitely a kid's show, it seems like.
Right. It's weird. I was thinking the same thing, though. Like, who is this for? Yeah.
Well, I mean, in the idea of like Sweet Tooth, because it was an adaptation.
Right.
Yep. It was one of the better adaptations, I would say. I mean, like you talked about, great acting, great story play. Could it have been better? It does kind of feel like not everybody can take an already established IP and like they can start with a bang, but to carry that, I mean, only a few select type of individuals can keep that going, it seems like.
It is tough. Sure. And then, like, who's to say, like, I'm sure it'll be good, but who's to say season 2 of Last of Us is going to be as strong as season 1?
That's true. Yeah.
You know? But there are moments in this season of Sweet Tooth that are like really heartwarming or like sad or what. So when I do feel those sort of things while watching, I'm like, okay, they did a good job because I was really in the moment for this or whatever. So there are like a good amount of moments in it, enough for me to like keep watching. Like I do enjoy the show, but it is hard. Like when there are moments where if it takes you out of it for a second, you're like, wait, who's this for?
Yeah.
Like those, it's unfortunate that I have to think about that.
Right.
But
the window's
it could just be
too
because
open.
there's, yeah. But it could just be because there's other really good shows and there's so much competition nowadays. Like I find myself thinking about that while I'm watching shows now.
Yeah.
But I still really enjoy it. And I want to watch the finale or the end episode. And
yeah.
I'm enjoying it.
Cool. I'm curious. I still am enjoying it because I'm curious. I want to know what Gus's purpose is, if there was more than, you know, what we know so far, or, you know, obviously the kid's got to escape at some point. And, you know, where do they go? Do they start a new society? What happens when they grow up? Like, I am interested in that group. I felt like they spent too long in the prison, and I didn't find the world, which, you know, again, post-apocalyptic world, there should be something interesting about it. I didn't find it as interesting as I feel like some other shows or movies have done. I kind of wanted them just to get back to the character moments where that was the fun and interesting part of it all. So, yeah, we will see. And, yeah, hopefully next week, well, I don't think we're going to be here, but when we come back, or maybe something, we'll figure out a way to talk about the finale. But, yeah, anything else on Sweet Tooth? Moving on.
Moving on.
Okay. Anybody watching Miss Maisel?
Unfortunately, I've yet to get back on that. Yeah. I'm so far behind already. That's why, but I do want to watch it.
Okay, I'm just gonna fly through it. This was by far one of the best episodes. There is a moment where Midge walks into the room and they're debating about a sponsor for the show. And he's like, I don't want the main comedian who's like the Conan O'Brien of it all, like is like, I don't want that sponsor. I'm not going to do anything for that sponsor. And then they start making jokes. It's a bunch of comedy writers in the show. And us doing improv, you know, like when you do improv and we would make jokes to each other, or you see somebody make a joke on stage and then you just be like, you know, the crowd is laughing, but in your head and your mind, you're like, that was a good one. You know, that's the response. They do that so well, where it really feels like you're in a room full of comedians.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like they appreciate the joke. It's just not like an audible laughter.
Yeah, I had to pause it, and I paused it, and I was like, you see that right there? And Christine was like, well, yeah, what? And I was like, that is such, like, that feels so real to me, seeing them, because it's just comedians making jokes at each other. And they're not like, cracking up. And maybe like if you didn't know that person or you just watched them on stage, you'd be busting out laughing. But it just felt so like real to being in a comedy writing room. I was like, wow, they did such a good job with that. Just the character development and the way they interact with each other. And the new characters, man, I just thought this episode was so damn good. So it's weird. It's having these up and downs for me this season. And anytime I see where Midge ends up in her future, I don't love it. It kind of bums me out a little bit. But maybe it all makes sense at the end again. But with that being said, there's some really good moments in this season, and they kind of like out of nowhere, I'm like, man, that was such a good choice. I love that they did that. So yeah, this was one of those episodes where I'm like, yeah, I'm so happy that the show has this season.
Oh, no, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that's Miss Maisel. And then last but not least, we got Ted Lasso. I want to say episode 7. Did you guys watch that as well?
Yes.
Take it away.
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to, but go for it.
Ted Lasso. Well, like you talked about, Tom, Sab Obasanya's dad actually came through.
That's awesome.
To visit, and Sam was really about like making sure that his dad got to see all of his success, not only on the field but off the field. In this situation, it was kind of mostly focused on Sam Obasanya, where he actually kind of steps out of his comfort zone and he tweets back at a politician that is essentially
a no-no.
Yeah, it's a no-no. He was saying to that individual to kind of like stay in your place, because the government individual was like, hey, if you're coming to our country, don't come to our country. And it was speaking in specific about immigrants from Nigeria, I believe. And so it all interconnected because Sab Obasanya's character is from Nigeria. And some person or people ended up vandalizing the restaurant.
Yeah, he got LeBron James'd.
Yeah, he got LeBron James'd.
Yeah, it was like, shut up and dribble.
Yeah, shut up and dribble. But it was kind of the juxtaposition of the whole situation, where everybody's own chaos is kind of coming together, where the team and themselves with the chaos is finally doing quote unquote total football. Jamie's leadership kind of comes through as he's helping the team realize that what they're doing is running through him, not for themselves. And so they're coming together as a team. All the other individuals are coming together as individuals. And then the creme de la creme, the cherry on top of everything, is that when we find out what Sab Obasanya's dad's name is, Ola, the team ended up fixing the neon sign, and it's called Ola's. His restaurant's called Ola's after his father. And you get to see this kind of beautiful family moment, this beautiful coming together moment, because none of that would have taken place if the team didn't work together in helping Sam's restaurant out by helping fix it and things of such. So it was kind of it was a beautiful episode.
It was. Also, Ola is a seltzer company, and you should buy it. And I'm not saying that because I'm an investor in the company. That's all good.
Not a sponsor.
Yeah, not a sponsor. So you should try it.
Insider trading.
No, that's called promotion.
Super illegal. Oh, okay, no, sorry. Okay.
But yeah, you guys should buy those drinks. They're pretty good. Okay, cool. Okay. Drake, how are you liking this season of Ted Lasso?
I would say that it's not season 1, it's not season 2. I think the curiosity of how an American football coach is going to do in the English Premier League was interesting. Getting to know all the characters and seeing where their starting point was interesting. Then second season, where we're starting to get to see them mesh a little bit more. We're starting to see kind of things come together. Our hopes are getting up, and then they're kind of taken away from us, and then we're left with this entry to the third season where it's like this final showdown, and it's definitely taking some time to get to this quote unquote final showdown, and it's definitely not as there's no stakes really. It doesn't feel like there's many stakes. And so just because it just seems like I'm watching a show that I like, but it's not really giving me much more than that.
Yeah, it's like a vegan restaurant, no steaks.
Yeah.
And like I just, man, I want to love this season. Like I really want to like it. I really want to be high on it. It's just not doing it for me. I really am not like super on board with the show. It feels super sloppy. Not sloppy. It feels all over the place. The sweet moments are beautiful. They're really nice. But I got hooked into this show first by the funny. And it's not really, it hasn't been really funny to me. Like even Roy's stuff, some of it is good, but it's just not like, it's making me laugh. I would rather go to other shows right now for comedy. And I'm just like, that really kind of bums me out a little bit. They are trying to bring in all these heavy concepts, right? Sexual orientation, immigration, or living in another country and acceptance. All these things. And I appreciate that they're doing it. It's just not hitting me that well. And I'm not super fired up about it. I like before coming into this, actually, majority of the weeks when we talk about Ted Lasso, I forget what happens. Like nothing is really sticks out to me, and I'm a little bit bummed about that. I just wish that, I don't know. I just wish that it was like hitting me better. Like, yes, Ted Lasso season 3. Like, oh my God, can't wait for these episodes. And I know that so a lot of people out there will probably disagree, but I just like I feel like it's just missing the mark a little bit for me.
And it's not just season 3; it's final season.
Exactly.
Right? So
exactly.
Even more so, you're like, what?
Yeah. Wait, Nate. All of a sudden, okay. Again, spoilers for this, but it's like Nate is. We left season 2 with him being just this asshole dick, right? And we get it at the beginning of the season. Nothing really has changed for Nate, but all of a sudden he's starting to be a good guy because the girl you've been crushing on kind of is giving him the time. Like, why does that make him a better person all around? Like, why are we supposed to start rooting for him now?
That is hilarious. Because then if he ends up with her and he's a good person, and what, they break up, he's an asshole again? Like, is that what we're learning?
He does this moment where, where like every time he gets fired up, he like spits at himself or spits on the ground, and then he gets fired up and then he like takes charge. Yeah. And in this moment, he has that moment where he needs to take charge, but he doesn't spit. And it's like, I was watching, I was like, who the fuck cares? Yeah. Like I don't.
That was the big thing.
Yeah, I was like, yay, good for him. But I was also like, he was a dick to Ted, seemingly for no reason. So why do I care? It just was like, I don't know. I really don't want to be down on it. I love the cast. The situation is so interesting. You're right, American football player, and now it seems like he's actually learning to coach a little bit more, but still he kind of gets out of the way a bunch too, and we all know he hates, like, Ted wants to leave. So I don't know, it's just hard for me to really feel invested in it, and then also not to laugh is just hard. It's hard for me to come back week to week and be like, this is so good. It's just not doing it for me.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely is the case. Like, I don't know if it's fatigue. I don't know if it's just like not as good storytelling, because the cast in themselves seem to be super stoked about the final season, and the fact that it's crescendoing on a third season. Not very many shows do that anymore, where they're finite, right? They're just trying to keep the money train going. So to not have it be as spectacular as 1 and 2 is strange. So we can only hope for the best. At the same point in time, like maybe the next, 5 episodes will be better. Like, I don't know.
Oh, how many episodes are there?
I think there's like 10 or 12 or something.
Oh, that's good. Okay. Okay, there's still a lot of time. And they're really, they're milking it. But I think there's time to kind of right the ship and kind of figure out what's going on. The whole Rebecca one night stand thing feels like it was this big moment, big deal, and then kind of just glossed over right after. Anyways, well, there's still plenty of time for all this stuff to make sense. And I'm not completely out. I'll keep watching it, but man, I was really hoping to be like really excited about this season and just be super high on it. And for some reason, just not quite there yet.
Nothing.
It's not beef for me. Like I'm all about that beef.
Yeah.
Which is another good show. Go check that out.
All right. Well, anything else, guys? Any other final thoughts? We're going on a break. We're not gonna be doing this for a while. So it's been fun, and really curious to hear what people think or what goes down after we go on this break. And we have the 100th episode coming up. We're gonna make a big deal of that. We're gonna have a lot of fun with that. And then the show might change a little bit. So we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We got a bunch of stuff going on in our lives right now, whether we're doing trips or honeymoons or we're doing other things.
Turning into jaguars,
and so we're gonna re-engage, we're gonna reinvest, and then we're gonna give you the best joystick show we can possibly do. Just using
best sticking of your life.
Yeah, we're gonna stick it to you.
Nice. Yeah, love it.
So
yep.
Okay.
Yep.
No, but we'll be back. We just got things going on, but I'm excited to do that 100th and see where we go from there.
Right on. Cool. Yeah. Everybody go watch Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 in theaters. Super worth it. And as always, mahalo and thanks for sticking it with us.
Thanks for shaking it in us.
The Joystick Show.
If you've enjoyed what you've been listening to, we'd really appreciate a follow, subscribe, and a review. Just how we like chatting with our friends, please share this with yours. Feel free to join the squad and follow us at JoyStickShow Joystick Show on Twitter and Instagram, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. And if you feel like submitting topics or questions to be discussed on future episodes, you can email us at joystick.show@gmail.com. As always, thank you, peace out, and make it a great rest of your week.